Check, check, 1, 2, and we're back with another edition of the Human Earth Planet with your host, Table Mannerz. It's been a couple straight episodes of repair videos and deconstruction videos, and I think I'm going to follow suit with another one. Today we're going to fix a gain issue I was having with the Numark X6. My master gain was really sensitive but also unresponsive, if you catch my drift. Basically, we're going to take this thing apart and clean it. This is an older takedown that I recorded. Yeah, it's different. It's the same. It's everything you've seen and more. This is an analog mixer. There isn't much to it on the inside. There were a couple things that we'll get to that I had trouble with. I also recommend a small glasses screwdriver when you get to the effects faders and the headphone fader. All right, let's get into the Numark X6. So, like I said, pretty basic. You can see here the front plate. I'll show you the back end, the front end. My problem again was in the gain, the master gain, and we're gonna start taking the front plate off. Please remember also, you're gonna need to pop those faders off. They just pull, and the screws on the front of the plate, don't forget about the screws on the edge of the plate. So let's get to it. Here we are, just taking some screws, doing some handy work. Very handy, popping the faders off. Yup, very good. Excellent. Okay, so front plate didn't come off obvious. I forgot the edges. Don't forget the edges. Okay, and it comes right off. Next step is to clean, but also we're gonna keep taking this thing apart. The plastic effects plate pulls off when we get to it, but before we get to that, we're gonna pull off all of the pots. Those just pull. Some of them are stuck. This has also had many things spilt on it, so I thought I should clean it anyway. All right, and that just pops off. And there's the underbelly. Before we get to taking apart the rest of it, I do want to mention that if you ever wanted to replace your fader, let's say you weren't happy with your cross fader, you can get a new one and you can replace it with whatever you want. You can find whatever brand you're happy about, and we'll show you how to do that in this video. Okay, so let's take the screws off the side. This is holding that top plate in. That top plate just kind of sits in a metal frame. You can see here, it is attached by some ribbon cables. The fader has a ribbon cable attached, as well as the effects. And you know what? I had no idea how to take that effects one off. And here it just goes to show you, if you can't figure it out, maybe just don't force it, because I broke mine. And here you can see, busted. You busted it, dude. Still glued. Still glued. Okay, so we're getting into the fader plate. That's what I'll call it. That just comes off. And we're gonna take the screws on this secondary level plate off. This is where a small screwdriver comes in handy for the mini faders. The effects fader and the headphone fader. And you'll see here that the cross fader is plugged in. We're gonna have to take that off. It's really easy with some needle nose pliers. The effects button, the tempo and the tap tempo, it kind of pushes in and twists off. Now to take the rest of this board off, you're gonna need to unscrew the nuts. You're gonna need to unscrew the nuts, that's what they're called. And once you get them kind of loose, you can use your fingers to just unscrew them, take them off, you know? Keep them all in one spot, you don't want to lose them, same old. This part was the most time consuming. All right, top plate comes off. Let's see what's underneath. Oh no, top plate doesn't come off, and here's why. It's because I forgot about some screws on the back. This is screwed in the back. You're going to remove, I think, three 3 screws. But here we go, we're popping the fader off. You can see where that plugs in. And yeah, you can just get replacement units like this and straight up swap them for different styles of fader. So that's pretty cool. That's a cool function, and now you know how to do it. Yeah! Thanks for the video, you know? Alright, this last remaining screws holding this in come out, and then the front plate pops off. You're going to see it pop right out right here. Pop, pop, pop. Nice! So, not much to it, except that one dang ribbon. I don't know what to do with that. I didn't have any problems with my RCAs or anything like that. I didn't feel I needed really to take anything else apart. So there's kind of the full deconstruction. Ribbon cable. I just removed some like excess plastic that I don't know if it's supposed to come off. It looked cleaner when I took it off because it was kind of bubbling. Also with this motherboard, my Q-tips got really orange and yellow. So that's from all the parties this thing has been to and all the sloppy drunk people it's been around. So yeah, not much to it. We're just going to clean. I had to be really careful with the ribbon cable, not to like twist it or break it. You can kind of bend it in certain directions and it's good. So we were able to clean. I do think that this helped, but again, like I think these deconstructions need more for that peak performance to come through. Ugh, look at that Q-tip, gross. But you know, cleaning it helps. Cleaning it removes all the gunk that might be preventing it from communicating, sending signals, electrical signals, and also not to mention, I've mentioned this in previous videos, but the sugar that forms from any beer spill is just going to slowly eat away at everything in there. So I did wash everything with isopropyl 99%. Some clean wipes to get all the grime off. Sweet. So we're just going to clean. That's all I do here. Just straight up cleaning. Wish I could do more. Soon I'll be able to do more. Soon I'll know how to take that freaking ribbon cable off without busting it. But that's the risk you run when you take stuff apart. But I went in and I cleaned everything that liquid may have touched. I realize it could have gotten underneath that board, but again, it's a lot of work. And I think back then during this deconstruction video and cleaning, I didn't have the skill set that I needed, and I still don't. I still don't have the skill set that I need to do a perfect job. Everything just pops back on the same, so be patient. It just takes time and it takes organization. Nothing should be forced back in. And if you're forcing it, something's up. There I go, putting the nuts back on. Oh yeah, and don't forget that the nuts come with washers. So make sure those washers are also going on first. They go on first. When you do put this plate back on, you're going to need to remember to connect the fader, the crossfader. You're going to need to connect the crossfader back into the circuit board. I'm just dusting it out. Can't hurt, right? We're doing a full clean. Screws go back in the back. This one was honestly really easy aside from that cable. And of course, I think I would like to figure out what a capacitor does and replace one if it needs it or whatever. But here you have the Numark D-type crossfader plate going back on. We plug it back in here. You can't see. My apologies. And here we go, screwing those little screws back in. Those ones were extremely frustrating. I hope I never have to work with them ever again. So far, the Numark X6 has been really good to me since I've put this back together. No issues with the master gain. It's been really smooth, so I think this is a success, and I think it's just from cleaning. So a little bit of love goes a long way. Just a little bit goes a long way, you know. Getting those buttons back in is a little frustrating. The switches have little felt washers that kind of go around them. I forgot to do this the first time, so I had to pop the plate off before I put it back on because I had some extra washers, and I was like, wait, where did these go? Under there, underwear, under there, you know, under the effects plate. All right, so all that stuff's back on. We start putting the pots back on. Those go on before the plate, before the face plate. You can't do it in the reverse order because the thick parts don't fit. So it's odd. It's very odd, but those go on first. All right. Oh yeah, that wouldn't fit, and it wouldn't fit because I didn't have these screws making sure everything was nice and tight. The side screws go on first, just to hold everything in and squeeze it all in nice. Cool. All right. Oh yeah, that fits on way nicer. Yeah, it's nothing to it. Front plate goes back on, screws go back in, faders stick back on at the very end, and here we have a very clean, working like brand new Numark X6 mixer. Very cool. Okay, so there you have it, the Numark X6 mixer teardown. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed checking it out. Please follow Table Mannerz 01, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you enjoy content like this and beat making and things of those sort, this is where you're going to find it. And yeah, I got Twitch, got YouTube, got Instagram. Check it out, or don't, because I'm not going to make you. All right, this has been another edition of the Human Earth Planet. Your host, Table Mannerz. See you again soon.